guys, it's Crystal. So this is going to be my second review for Milani Cosmetics Spring 2012 eyeshadow collections. Now, as you know, I've been working on doing reviews with Milani Cosmetics for their Spring 2012 line, and it is all just beautiful and eclectic and amazing. These eyeshadows are very, very gorgeous, and I really think that you're going to like what you see. Now, the last video that I showed you, it was all about the metallics and the marbled shadows. Now, there are 3 new colors in each of those collections that I just mentioned, and they sent me the 3 colors from each collections that are new for 2012. So I'm going to be showing you also their 2012 spring lookbook as well. Now, if you're familiar with the other videos that I've done for Milani Cosmetics, especially for their spring 2012 collection, I've showed you not just this lookbook, but this one as well. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to email me or leave a comment below, because I have all of the knowledge of Milani Cosmetics here. And this book is very handy because it tells us all about the new items for their spring 2012 collection, as well as the new colors. Some lines have not changed, they've only added colors in, and that happens to be the same with the Runway eyes. Now, the Runway eye collection has 16 different colors in them, and these are going to be the 3 new ones that I show you. First, there's number 14, Antigua. And the packaging is very different from the marbled and the metallic collection. This is Antigua. Very, very beautiful. Number 15 is Golden Touch. And you'll notice immediately that the packaging is not metallic or shimmery at all. It's just a beautiful flat cream nude packaging. We still have the dome shape. The size and the shape of the containers are still the same. It's just the coloration. Here's Golden Touch. Even the brushes are the exact same. And number 16 is Peaches and Cream, which is probably my favorite. And here's Peaches and Cream. So I'm going to read to you from this booklet and from the Milani website all about these shadows. The booklet first of all says that these eyeshadows are luxurious powders baked on a terracotta tile, and these as well are made in Italy. So it's not just the other collection made in Italy, these are as well. The payoff is buildable. The finish is pearl with a shimmer overspray. The texture is a smooth powder, and the usage is for eyeshadow or eyeliner. You can use these wet or dry. So here are the colors. I'm going to show these to you up close. The top row are the shadows dry, just over primer, and the bottom row are the shadows wet over primer. So starting over here, we have Peaches and Cream. This is Peaches and Cream dry, and this is Peaches and Cream wet. There's a very subtle difference. My camera's not picking it up truly, but the only subtle difference is that wet, it's a little bit more packed on, like you can see it a little bit better. It's not as sheer. Over here we have Antigua, and this is dry, and then here's Antigua wet. Beautiful gold shimmer. And then last we have Golden Touch dry, which is a beautiful highlight color. And then we have Golden Touch wet, which is much different. It's much more opaque when it's wet. They all are. The great thing about these shadows for the Spring 2012 collection is the fact that they are more neutral. Milani's goal was to create a spring line that tailored to everyone's need. However, they still wanted to keep with their own theme, the resonation of that eclecticness, that urban lifestyle, kind of formulated in a human-like graffiti, and it's beautiful and it is loud, but it can also be very, very subtle. And I think that this is the perfect way to integrate many of us who may not be used to color, who may not be comfortable with color, or who may not like color. Really integrate us slowly into a more colorful theme in our life. They also suggest, especially with their other shadows that may be more colorful, using them as a liner first. So if you get both of these, you can get the nice subtle collection and then get maybe 1 or 2 brighter ones and use those as a liner over top of these. Now, these alone are just gorgeous. These are the kind of easy breezy colors that I think are going to be so popular in carrying us from spring to summer. These are just one swipe and you're done. You don't really need to blend because these blend out so quickly. You're not going to be sitting there blending, mixing and blending. These are just buttery when they blend. The powder is very soft, very creamy. The only thing that I'm going to say is because there's so much sparkle in them, especially when we go over to Golden Touch, there's so much sparkle that there is some fallout. And when there's fallout, it is not the color per se, but it's the sparkle that falls out. So you're definitely going to want to protect your face unless you want to have lots of sparkle all over you. Now, because they're so buttery soft, when using them wet, you need to make sure that you do not swipe. You want to pack them on lightly. When you pack them, it is so much easier to build that color up as opposed to just brushing them on. You're definitely going to want to pack them on. Get a good packing brush and practice that packing. Now, again, I don't like the brushes. I'm going to just show you the design of the brushes. They are a curved brush. And I think ergonomically, it's not the best design. I don't use brushes that come with the products anyways. I don't care what product it is, I don't use them. So I use my own brushes, but for those of you who don't, I'm just forewarning you that these are not the easiest to use. On one side is an actual bristle brush, and on the other side is a sponge tip applicator. Sponge tip applicators are never my favorite unless you're in like a super big rush and you need to just pack on some color, but these tend to absorb color more than anything. And then this brush is just not the best to use because of how it's designed. It's very difficult to actually get enough color on there. There's no blending capabilities with it, but I do value the fact that they put something in there to apply it with. That was nice when they were thinking of, well, let's not just put a sponge tip applicator and let's put a brush and a sponge tip. I do value that. As you can see from this picture, it is so gorgeous. You can really do a lot with these, both wet and dry. Wearing them, I've noticed how long lasting they are. They do not transfer easily at all whatsoever. Still on just as beautifully as they ever were. Not transferable at all. Even rubbing them accidentally, they stay on very, very nicely. Now, along with everything that was sent to me, Milani sent me an official letter that they send out to lots of different stores that carry Milani, different people who are doing reviews for Milani, and this just explains all about what their theme and thought process was for the Spring 2012 collection. So I'm just going to read pieces to you because I really want you to understand where they're going and where they're coming from. It begins, Pop. Milani uncorks its 2012 spring new product launches. Raise your glasses, celebrating 10 years of color with impact. And the #1 multicultural color cosmetic brand. Milani is the gold standard in color, quality, innovation, and value. Bright and delightful, Milani combinations conjure up a chicly, carefree approach to makeup this season. From color-crazed color play, pretty pure pastels to explosively bright statements, these trends were designed for a culturally diverse consumer. Empowerment, confidence, and uniqueness define our commitment to color. Discover the decadence a decade of color can do for you. The inspiration was inner city life expressed in human graffiti-like beauty. In today's age, there's a mixture of ethnicities and culture. Color gives people options to play and represent who they are. And that's what I really value about Milani's Spring 2012 collection. They're not forcing bright pops of color on anybody. They're still coming out with these beautiful neutrals. If you take a look at most of the Runway Eye collection, very gorgeous. And they continue to do the same bits of neutrals here and there. We have a little bit of sparkle, but you're still getting those beautiful neutral colors. But they still offer us those options and pops of colors with the metallic and marble selection. Now, they describe them as luxurious, simplistic details with a light, airy feel. And I have to say that all of the cosmetics I've tried from Milani from start to finish, even before we started doing the Spring 2012 collection, when I was reviewing for them for their foundation, their concealer, their blushes, they've all been very light, very airy. They're almost not there. And that's what I really appreciate. They don't need to be a very heavy cosmetic to make a bold impact. The color payoff is beautiful. Some of the colors are not meant to have the biggest, most powerful payoff. Some are meant to be very ethereal, very airy, easy breezy, and that's okay. We need that sometimes. And some of them are meant to have some bold statements, and they come off wonderfully. Their lip glosses, their blushes, their face powders, these eyeshadows, I have been very happy with all of them. These colors are just beautiful for Spring 2012. Pastels are so, so gorgeous and so decadent, so delicate, just very, very airy-fairy, and I love that. I really, really do. At first, I didn't know how I felt so much about pastels really coming back and coming back out for the spring. You know, we hadn't seen them in quite a while, and then I started, as soon as I saw how beautiful they can really look, especially in eyeshadow eyeshadows and the nail polishes. I just fell head over tail for them. Next review is going to be all about the nail polishes Milani sent me, and there are a lot. There are about 20 of them. So many of them are going to be pastels, which are beautiful colors, and then many of them are going to be some really great sparkles, some really great pinks and blues, and just a lot of fun. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll talk to you later.